around the final document organization. So I'm not going to be the first and I'm not going to be the last planning person to say, we are not going to leave this on the We are working more diligently toward a more approachable and usable document. So instead of the typical organization that you have things based upon the subject areas in there, such as land use, transportation, and housing development, if you recall back to the final community meeting that they had with the community, working around the idea of whether those 5 items that they presented are kind of the 5 big ideas, 5 organizing principles that we use, of having those be the table of contents and things like that. And so because I think I'm confident you are all aware that we don't have issues that are siloed. They overlap. And everybody approaches the how are we going to fix whatever, or how are we going to make this village moving forward. Someone might come at it from the economic development perspective. Someone might come at it from the workforce, or from housing, or from environmental kinds of things. But you quickly start to realize that those are not separate issues. And so where we're looking to do is, like I said, those organizing principles, and then have within those chapters to have those various elements that will address that particular goal.
Well, and I don't know if you had heard some of our previous conversations during this process, but we were surprised infrastructure wasn't given more attention, particularly roads. There was no discussion in the final presentation, so I think.
Let me put it this way as well. Again, they're just starting.
Yeah.
And in some regards, there are some things that are honestly, and I'll put it this way, and don't mean any offense, that are just so obvious.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily need to highlight those things.
Yeah, but if we're using that document to guide our decisions and our budget, we got to include some of those.
It certainly shall be. But like I said, all of the separate categories, such as infrastructure, are woven through all of what is going to make this village move to the next level.
So, Alex, that comp plan, is that a 10-year plan?
We are probably looking at it being a 20-year time horizon.
Okay.
But we need to update it in 5 years. So every 5 years, we need to update it, so.
Okay.
Yep.
But we're not expected to achieve everything in 5 years.
Oh, no, definitely. Okay. So the other piece that I would put forward for your consideration would be there are communities that don't just leave it for a 5-year period. They don't just have a steering committee during the time of developing a comprehensive plan or doing an update. They actually have a comprehensive plan implementation and or review committee that makes sure that it's something that we get the value out of, that it truly does serve as that roadmap toward getting to where we are, to where we want to be as well. So that would also be something that I would, knowing that there are 4 of you on the council with the mayor, in the steering committee, if you wish to bring that up to have accountability, shared accountability, for making sure that what is included in the comprehensive plan is goals, strategies, visions, that we make, that there is consensus upon priorities, and also making sure that we continue to make progress toward those things. But you're definitely right. It is not anticipated that everything will be done in 5 years or 10 years, and perhaps not even within 20 years. But if that also, to make this a more usable, approachable, digestible document, we can also say, if we don't feel we're going to get this done in that time horizon, why are we putting it in the plan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on to short-term rentals. I know this might be something that we'll have conversation on, and I'm happy to be able to do so. We are still working to get the final everything implemented with Rentalscape. We do have a timeline to get that done. We will be pretty much a year into implementing both the updated ordinance as well as the software. Around April 1st is when that came into effect with them. We do anticipate by that date that they will have all of the pieces that they said that they would be able to do in place. It will be fully usable with that, and all the parts will be in place. We are also, as we look through here as well, we did have we had a single meeting over at the convention center with property management groups that was well attended, well received. We're looking to make that a quarterly roundtable with our property management groups so that we can have back and forth communication in regard to, so that we can share hear from them what they're experiencing, and they can also be able to hear from each other what experiences that they're having in regard to the implementing the software programs, but also just in general operations of short-term rentals here.
So I trust you've heard the complaints we're hearing.
I would say, please do share with them, because we only get the things that we get either through the Deckard complaint line, 575-315-8354, or the things that come in through dispatch.
Yeah.
And we also, the part about the paying their, being able to pay their lodger's tax online, that was one you and I spoke about, that was brought to the attention of the counselors, that they have to do manually that we're working on, so that's the other option that you and I spoke about.
Yes, so we are working through those things, and we do have, within the next couple, 3 weeks, we anticipate having the traditional lodgers, the hotel motels, the cabin complexes, able to take care of their lodger's tax through the portal. They will have their login there.
This, Alex, and trust me, again, I held your position for a couple of years, and your department's a punching bag because of the issues you're dealing with. But getting back to what Counselor Hooker said, it's all in the delivery. And the complaints I got as far as paying lodger's tax was they were being told, well, we're not trained on the software yet. Well, that's really not what we need to be communicating. We need to get a workaround, and Ron, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So in response to that, I do agree, messaging is important.
Yeah.
But also with the understanding, the messaging that should have also been out there, understanding that they want to get obligations off their books with that, but we are not, even though there have been some mistakes where late fees and penalties were assessed, we've removed all those from that. But, communicating back to people that we are close to having all of that work through. Would say we've also had some complaints in regard to now requiring reporting on individual properties as
and
well.
I've gotten those
the workaround that we've also said for that is they may also provide us a spreadsheet with those properties as well. So if it's a management company that has 30 properties, they may also provide us the spreadsheet so that we can connect back the payments that they provide. If they provide a singular payment, that we can then connect it back to each property that they are managing as well.
Did we communicate that to Bill LeMasters?
I know that Alex and Michael did talk to Bill LeMasters that one day, so I'm not sure. We probably need to,
Yeah, because
we had that discussion.
I got a heated call from
Yeah.
him that
yes.
said, I physically cannot do what you're asking. So,
We'll put that on the list, but I know that Mike and Alex spoke to him during one of that was brought up, so need to get.
the problem, Mayor Pro Tem, is these people that are managing multiple properties they don't track what each property is doing. you know, they submit a single check yeah, if you could reach out to them, I think that.
Again, we need to get those complaints coming to us so that we can do so.
Yeah, yeah.
Alex, when you get together with the companies, is it with every short-term rental owner?
So that's the second part. Thank you for your question, Counselor. The second part, that we are going to have a Zoom meeting with all of the individual operators as well. So we are going to make that also a regular quarterly occurrence with them, so that they can also have an understanding. So we can hear have that communication with them to hear what the issues that they are experiencing from operational standpoint, or anything that with our ordinance or with the software, so that we can try to be proactive in fending off and solving problems before they get out of hand.
When we had our meeting, Crisanti had said that she could print off some, I don't know, not flyer, but kind of like a flyer that has the number on. We talked about that, and we talked about putting the hotline number on the billing. Has anything been done?
We have done some preliminary work on that, but we will get that also wrapped up in the next couple weeks.
Also, the 600,000, we've already paid that.
So, yes, and I would apologize for not having that number updated. So the annual payment that we have for the software system is $126,000.
Oh, yeah.
In that, we have that's a 10-year contract that we have fixed at that price, which is good. Yeah, I think it's good. And there's not an automatic escalator in there. So if we do have, end up having, for better, for worse, 2,000 short-term rentals, they're not going to raise the rate on for us with that. That was a number that was put in there sort of as a placeholder. The actual number toward that, and we also, unless there is a change to ordinance policy that would require us adding additional staff, we also had to acquire a vehicle, not software, but hardware, computer equipment in order to run the program. So that number is actually much lower.
So, at least for me, the appeal of the software was identifying rogue properties. Can we get a report on that
So, yeah,
regularly?
we can, once we are inching closer to having the data matched up to to where we are. In probably in transparency, until we're a year through the process, we won't be able to fully identify, to connect those things, each property up to whether they have a license or they don't, that Deckard has out there. So we're getting closer to that, but it will probably be April. We can take this opportunity now, or again, maybe in a council meeting in the future, to get a direction from you as to how gracious you wish to be in regard to giving people a grace period in order to come in to make an application to get a license. When we identify that number, whether it's 75 or 750 that have been operating without a license.
Well, if they're operating illegally, I'm not very gracious.
No, I guarantee it.
We need to immediately get them on they either come on or we send them to court. But on Deckard, I mean, if it's taking that long, we need to have that discussion with them.
So in that discussion,
Yeah, 'cause
I'm sorry, go ahead, Ron.
Don't just, whenever they sold us the software, they said immediately, once we got the software, we should be able to identify. They could go on there and show us on the webinar and show us where they were, on those demos, where they already had properties that weren't registered, so that should happen sooner than later. And if we need to call Deckard again, we'll call them up, because I'm calling them every time there's an issue, I'm calling them
No,
up.
I don't believe it's an issue where we need to call Deckard. What I am hearing.
Okay, well, if we need to do that, we're
From
gonna do that.
either from you and or from the council, we can be prepared to, as soon as possible, send out letters to properties that Deckard has identified through their software,
and let the cards fall where they fall.
You made reference to ordinance. Zach, are we going to fine tune the ordinance as it relates to that fire pit issue? Yes.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Councilor Corey, we'll have that at the next council meeting. We've already drafted, Zach's already drafted that part in there, allowing not only the fire chief, assistant fire chief, fire marshal, but others, lieutenants and captains that can also issue citations from fire pits, so.
Okay, thank you.
So if we're, talking about issuing the tenant a citation, then why not go into noise ordinance? If they continually disobey the noise ordinance, they've been given a warning and they don't, then it's a tenant that's also responsible because they've been warned, if they are warned. And you have to go back and give them a ticket. Of course, the homeowner's gonna feel the brunt of it also. But then getting back to the short-term rental registrations, those who have been found to be in violation of, I'm in favor of being pretty immediate because I believe that everybody out there that is renting Rogue is well aware that the village has a permit process for short-term rentals.
Amen.
So in that, I don't think there should be a whole bunch of grace. But then in the process, is it gonna be, okay, you send them a notice, 30 days to show up to court, then another 30 days if they show something, or how's that gonna work? Can that be an immediate, let's say, execution of the consequences,
We'll
or?
work with Zach, Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Councilor Eby, work with Zach on that. We've had some of those before when we had the other softwares, and we addressed it immediately.
Yeah.
See, I think it's the homeowner, though.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be the home,
Like
yes.
for the noise
For
and
that,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Well, both.
Because that's different customers all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you give fines to the homeowner, they're dadgum sure gonna be, 10 o'clock, no noise, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I think to both.
I agree then.
It's just as, you have a customer that's coming in town that break the speeding,
Because,
essentially they're a customer in the village, they get a ticket.
yeah. Well, all these homes are supposed to have all the regulations posted right there by the door, wherever, somewhere where they can read it. So it's not like they can say, oh, I didn't know.
Right.
So Zach, could we issue like a cease and desist for these rogue operators?
We could do that, or we could send them a 30-day notice to either register or cease and desist or go to
Okay.
court.
Yeah, if I may jump in with that, the way that I interpret the code, how that ordinance, we've set it up that it would move through a typical process with the court. And so we just need to come up with our standard operating procedure that says, how long are we going to give them to come into compliance before we put them into court?
5 days.
5 hours.
The next morning.
Basis, I would think, so. I understand what you're saying, but we'll talk about it.
And also, this is another piece of what Deckard Service is. They have, in fact, on my desk, I have the sample letters that they've been doing, as well as letters that we've sent out in the past before we had Deckard, so that we are preparing for them sending out the letters that say what the process will be to come into compliance. We can determine again if we want to, what our tone may be in that letter,
But
whether
we're
it
going to have
is.
to follow through.
Exactly,
Because
yes.
just like our little incident the other day at the council meeting, I had two homeowners in that area say, that house was rented the whole Christmas time. So, Alex, so they were supposed to cease and desist, no renting. Did we follow up and go up there at any time to see?
We did not. I will say that I had discussion with the former deputy village manager. And we did allow them the grace in regard to that they said they had the reservations looking toward those people that were coming the guests that were coming, that had made the reservation, understanding that it was premium time and might be difficult for them to find other arrangements in there.
That's not
As-
what
yeah.
was portrayed at
No,
the
it
meeting.
wasn't. I thought that it was the minute they got.
And what, no,
that
what
it's
we had,
over.
we had told them, and let me thank you for that, because what we had told them is the reservations that they had already when we suspended the license, they could keep. And that's what they agreed to with that.
And
The whole time.
And Mayor Pro Tem Salas, members of the council, when we first started with the first software, if we went and we did a scrub of all the areas, if somebody was, we immediately contacted them and they had to get, either they came to the village hall, got a permit, or we sent them to court. So that happened immediately. So,
Thanks, Alex.
Certainly.
But if we could get that number somewhere, that maybe
Yes,
people don't
we will,
have to.
yes, we will
go
be
to
sure
the
that by
building.
the next council meeting that we will have
I appreciate it.
that ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions about what we are looking to do with, I guess the other point that I would make as well, and we've also had an informal discussion with the, several discussions that we've had, formal, informal, with the fire chiefs, the police chiefs, and specifically with the fire pit issue, but also to have an internal working group here at the village to be sure that we are all working together in tandem, identifying where either our resources are not being properly allocated or not available to respond to something, or the things we need to update in the short-term rental ordinance in regard to being sure that we are meeting the vision of what the council and the community want to see happen in regard to short-term rentals.
We just don't want it to be, well, tourists will be tourists. No, we have ordinances. And if we're not going to follow those ordinances, willy-nilly, y'all go out and do whatever you want to. Because it takes too much time to to think about them, to create them. The best for, it may not be best for me, but if you look at the whole picture, it's the best thing, so.
Well, and speaking for myself and perhaps anticipating yourselves, I'd rather hear that we're doing well and not hearing the complaints
Yeah.
about what we're not doing right.
We have a public hearing for who can write the citations next month.
Yes, and as a point of clarification, that is actually not within the short-term rental ordinance specifically. It's in the fire code, but
Okay.
it's related to that, yes.
So it goes to a public hearing.
It goes to a public hearing on the 10th, and then we'll publish it, and 5 days later after it's published, it could be enforced.
Oh, okay.
we're amending the ordinance,
Oh,
so.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Then my last item would be about code enforcement. As I indicated, we do have a transfer of a code enforcement officer into the Community Development Department with that. I would like to, in a future council meeting or council workshop, have a in-depth conversation with all of you in regard to how you would like the code enforcement program to be operated, so that we can all be on the same page as to what, and understand and identify then priorities, processes, ordinances, and the resources that we have available in order to be sure that code violations, property issues are being effectively addressed as you would like to see it happen.
And wouldn't that just be in our blighted policy?
It would be, but again, we have one code enforcement officer. So how we particularly deploy that particular officer is something that I will, freely admit that I don't think we've had, for me, enough information to say, these are the things that I'd like to have, that we'd like to direct that person to do. Yeah, in there, so.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, members of the council, to be any code violations within the community development, planning and zoning, and they're gonna be out looking at blighted properties, clean and lean, the sign ordinance, so they'll be assigned to do that, to actually drive to a construction site. If they don't see a permit, they're going to be addressing that too. So they have a lot on their plate, so.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I may, in the police department, we have 2 code enforcement officers. Are you looking at taking one of theirs or adding another?
No, there's,
So one has been transferred.
Yeah.
And
So it's been,
yes.
he's been transferred. And this is the one that you're requesting or an additional?
No, this is a transfer of a position
Okay.
at this point. And we will, again, as we engage in direction of your policy direction of whether we're going to continue as we are, or if we're going to adopt a strategy of being more proactive in regard to, for example, dividing the village up into certain neighborhood districts, that we would do a engagement with that area to say, these are, we're going to come out and do, I'll just use the word blitz, in there on code enforcement, whether it is something that we say, the biggest thing that we see is, and I'll just pull this out of nowhere, is fences that aren't being maintained. And that we just focus on getting fences done. And then we move on to something else, or we move on to a different area. Because right now, we are very much complaint-based
well,
in that. And
I
so,
think a lot
yeah,
of it
yeah.
too is when you have a dilapidated house and it's vomited all the way to the road with stuff. I mean, to me, we got to get
That's
this
a hazard.
fixed.
Well, I don't want, I personally, as a council member, don't want to get in the weeds. Ron, you understand
Oh, yeah.
what we're looking for, so,
Yeah, we already have a direction on that. so.
yeah.
Okay. And what's the 300,000 for?
That is generally for clean and lean, or other kinds
Okay.
of
Yeah.
expenses that
Okay.
may come.
That's not for personnel, that's for the, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, any other questions for Alex?
Thanks,
Thank you very
Alex.
much, Alex.
Thank you. I appreciate your
Good
feedback.
detailed report, appreciate that.
Yep.
Next, we have my favorite department that I always tell to do more with less. Or at least that's how it was told to me.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem and Council.
Right.
We're on the home stretch. So,
Oh, thank you.
We're getting ready to go to speed rounds.
Great coach.
here with Parks and Rec, we do, I'm going to go over our org chart first. You'll see that, of course, we have our Assistant Parks and Rec Director position vacant right now. We do have interviews for that the 11th of next month. I believe we're interviewing 9 candidates. We had about 37 applicants, 38 applicants come in. A lot of them weren't qualified. And so we narrowed it down to about 9 that we are giving interviews to. We just refilled the event and recreation supervisor, because as you heard, planning and zoning stole Chris. And so we have refilled that position. That individual will start on 3/1, March 1st. They're moving down here from Ohio. They're originally from here, and they're moving back home. And so we're really excited to have them back. They had to finish some stuff up there.
Who is it?
It is Alex Nocella. And so if you recognize the last name, Jeremy Nocella works for me. It is his brother. And so,
Oh, nice.
so Mama's really happy to have her other son and grandkids coming home.
My
So
gosh, that's great.
he's getting out of the military, and so he's coming to join us. So we're really excited for that. We actually currently have 3 vacant parks maintenance positions. It shows 2 on here. We did lose one of these employees. However, we offered 2 positions last week, 2 people positions last week. So they both accepted offers. One is completed drug testing and background. The other one still has to finalize drug testing. So fingers crossed we'll have those 2, and I have interviews set up next week for that other position. So fingers crossed things will be going good.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
Why is Craig off here by himself? What is that?
Because Craig reports directly to Alex Nocella, and so he's the recreation maintenance worker.
Oh, okay.
So he's dedicated to the recreation department. He's the one that cleans like the gym or stripes the fields for ball games or all that stuff. That's his dedicated
Got it.
position.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And so my organization chart, it looks kind of just wonky because we do have such a big department and so many divisions. But still the same key people, you know. Uli's over our seasonal recreation. Jimmy Triplett is over our youth and adult sports coordinator. He's doing phenomenal. He's newer in that road, but doing phenomenal. Gavin's over parks. Jeremy's over facilities. And of course, Anthony, you'll hear from next, is also over the community center. We do have 4 boards and commissions. We have the Parks and Recreation Commission, Keep Ruidoso Beautiful Committee, the Cemetery Board, and then I'm on, represent the Watershed Committee also, so. And this is the Internal Watershed Committee. This is the funds that we get from the WIBIT and the parking at Grindstone Lake and the distribution of those funds.
Yeah, let's hope we can open that this year.
Yeah, we're hoping. It looks like it. The water is coming up, so we're really happy with that. All right, so we'll move on to our first goal. The first goal is the complete improvements of rehabilitation to Two Rivers Park, including replacing of washed out bridge, pavilion, the benches, the picnic tables, and then we're also adding an additional pavilion. And so this is all, it's about $500,000 worth of stuff, and it was all, we received a Trails Plus grant for it. So this is all paid for through that Trails Plus grant. There is a 2-to-1 match, so our match for it is $250,000. However, we've already allocated money from lodger's tax before the floods for a new playground at that location. So that match, that will be our match for this project. So
Playground.
yes, sir. We will most likely be moving that playground from its previous location just because of the risk it was in there. Honestly, I'm kind of evaluating it this year with the flood seasons to see where it floods and where the safer areas are. We think we have a location picked out that's a less flood prone area in that park, but I want to,
Really?
yes, it's what's crazy is it's actually where the Hexagon Pavilion is, right behind the chamber across the river.
Right, across the river.
Yeah, across the river to the right of that, it actually really didn't flood in that area between that Hexagon and the statue that's there. And so we're looking at that area to put it on the backside of the river. It'll also help protect the kids some more. We don't have to worry about them running out into the street and things like that, so.
And on that note, consider expanding the parking lot. A
Yes.
few more parking spaces. That's the calls I get.
For sure.
To, make it more, mainly just the people wanting to walk along the river.
It's a very popular
One of
trail.
these days when the chamber building's gone, that can be made into parking.
That can be an additional parking in that area also. And so, but like I said, we already have the bridge ordered. We're looking at a March deliver for that. The pavilions have been ordered. I don't have a delivery date on those. And the new picnic tables and benches are already in, and a lot of them are already in the park. There are some other additional things going in that park from that grant, like we are putting a security system or camera system into that park. And so it'll be a single pole right where the bathroom is, but it's 360 cameras. So that's kind of threefold. One, it allows us for security of the park. It's honestly a big fixture that's not, it's not ugly, but it's not, hidden. It's made to be seen, so people know that they're being recorded, that there are cameras up there. It's a deterrent. It also allows us cameras in that area to see the river. And so it will have views of both rivers coming in together. And it'll also have views of the street right there. So we'll be able to see what's going on the street. It's always recording, and so if something does happen, we can go back and pull that video footage. As well as we're adding what's called a storybook trail into that park. And so what that is about every 100 yards or so, there'll be a short little platform that will have a storybook page in it. And so as they walk along the trail, they can read a kid's book along the way. What's really cool about it is we can change those out. So that book will constantly change out, probably once a month or so. We'll put a new book in. The other awesome thing is we actually have some, in the village, have some people who have written children's books or are artists for things like that. And so we're going to kind of tap into them and we're able to put their material on those and highlight some maybe village employees that want to have their work highlighted. So that's a goal we have for that park.
Good.
I may have missed, Matthew. Where is the playground equipment coming from?
So the playground equipment will be, the funding for that is out of lodger's tax.
But is it new equipment?
Yes, it'll be all
Okay.
brand new.
I misheard you. I
Yes, sir.
thought it was.
No, that old stuff's all gone. It'll be all brand new.
Okay.
The original plan actually was the playground that is in Schoolhouse Park was supposed to go where the old playground was in Two Rivers. We got grant funding. That was a very quick turnaround, and so we already had that design. We moved it over to Schoolhouse Park. I'm very happy we did, because
That's our best
yeah.
kids playground.
it's
love it.
very well used and it's
Everybody.
safe there, so. But now we will, work on redesigns for that playground.
Okay.
I'll stand for any questions on that one. Awesome. Our goal number 2 is going to be research and apply for grants that pertain to Parks and Recreation. That's a goal we have every year. I continue that one. Since I've taken over the department, we've been extremely successful in grants. I myself have received just over $5 million in grants, and the department as a whole in the last 3 years have received over $8 million. And that's in grant funds alone, not including our matching funding. So we're really excited that that's what affords us a lot of these big projects. And Councilman Hooker, as you talk about, those funds can only go towards those projects. And the state has a lot of funds that can only go towards quality of life and recreation stuff. And so we go after a lot of that for those kind of things. And we do try to weave into those projects things like the camera system to help us with the river, viewing the river and streets and stuff. My goal is a lot of those is how can we weave in things that can help the full, other divisions using that kind of grant funding, so. And I'll stand for any questions on those. The next one is complete improvements to the Eagle Creek Sports Complex. So speaking of grants, that was a $2.5 million grant, quality of life grant that we had just received. It is for new turf and new lighting, new turfed infields and new lighting at the Eagle Creek Sports Complex. And the reason we moved just turf infields is because, as we know, Tom Dorgan uses the outfields for parking and for other things. And so we didn't, turf would get ruined if we put it in the outfield. The reason also we focus on infield is currently we have a lot of tournaments that come into town. And by doing a turf infield, when it snows or when it rains, policy at the moment is we wait an hour after the last rainstorm and then we start drying the fields. That takes a while. That can take 2, 3, even 4 hours to get them all back to playable condition. With turf on the infields, we can right away go blow them off, squeegee them off with what's called roller squeegees. You see them a lot of times in actually in tennis is where roller squeegees started, but it's a roller that squeegees them off, and we can have playback in probably 30 minutes to an hour, where instead of it was 4 hours before.
So when you say turf, it's like AstroTurf?
AstroTurf, yes. No, it's AstroTurf. And it'll be brown. It'll look very similar to dirt. It also makes a lot safer playing surface because you don't get rogue bounces and things like that of a softball.
So basically what you're gonna do is just, not install that turf during the winter when Tom Dorgan is there. He's gonna still be allowed to park there. So any damage that's incurred, then when you come in, you have minimal prep to put the turf down.
So there won't be any turf in the outfields where he parks. It'll just be on the infield, the dirt area. And he currently does not use that for anything. The infield dirt areas that we actually put T-posts in and it's fenced off. And so that's why we're only doing the infields.
So is the outfield damaged any?
Yes, it's damaged by the vehicles. That's the portion we have to work on every year.
But, Tom does have, he's got, not rules. In the contract, it states.
He is supposed to return it back to us in the condition that he received it in, is what the contract does say.
But that's not what happens.
And
So,
that hasn't happened in a long time.
but who is supposed to make that happen? Because if we have a contract because this is a shared field. The baseball had it before Tom Dorgan.
Agreed.
And I think Tom's deal is very good and very much needed. But I also think that if we're going to have a contract, we have to go by that contract. And if Tom is not valuing that contract, who makes that happen?
And over the, okay.
Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Councilor Letterman, Zach here is working on that, on all our agreements. and lease agreements, and we provide you a document with that. I think everybody received that through the email. So we'll be working on that.
Okay.
And I will say, over the last few years, we've been making good progress towards that. It's a hard pill to swallow. There was a lot of things on that contract that weren't necessarily abided by, and over the last couple of years, we've started making progress towards those items, for sure.
Okay.
Scott Maynard was telling me that there was some sort of material that larger arenas use, or baseball fields and such, to cover the fields when they have other events, and then they just pick them up and there's no damage to the field.
So there are there's some rubber mats and things like that. The issue is it's the long term. Those are usually put them down for a weekend to cover the field, to protect the field.
Not for the whole winter.
Not for 3 to 6 months.
Which ain't gonna kill anything that's under it.
Yes, and the other is, a lot of the other issue is just the weight of vehicles driving on it. I mean, it's simple physics. It's just gonna pack down the soil. And no matter how much aerating you do throughout time, it will just keep packing that soil. And so, those are things where, I'm trying to do some research, and that's, go to a lot of these trade shows and stuff and I work with some, turf management companies and stuff and say, hey, how can we work through this? And so it's definitely something we're researching, we're trying to figure out.
So, do we own land up above? Is there anywhere else we can park?
Not really. So we do own a little land. You'll hear people talk about there's land just after the entrance. There's a little meadow kind of off to the south side of the road there. We do own that land. However, it is underneath the high water mark. And so for the river right there. And so because of that, it causes difficulties of making it a parking area. And so that's, because we evaluated actually, we went out and that was when, just Ashley and Christella. Ashley and Christella were here. I took them out there and we evaluated all of it, and it just wasn't feasible to be able to do that. And so there's areas we've tried. It's just the other side's mountainside, and so it's just,
How far up Ski Run is the old cemetery property?
It's just
About a
right there.
quarter mile,
Oh, okay.
a little over a quarter
It's on the
mile, I
left-hand
guess, right up
right-hand side.
to Monjo Road.
Okay.
which I believe is where the disc golf course is.
Yeah, where the
Yeah.
disc golf.
Yes, sir.
also.
And so,
My request or solution is to not let them park in the fields at all. That's how it was
would-
set up the very first time.
I agree.
Because we even put roller gates,
Mm-hmm.
chains, and we locked those things up so we knew nobody was driving out there.
because I know one big complaint I've heard from Mr. Dorgan is that if he does put sod out or something, there's water issues getting it watered correctly. Well, the reason we have a lot of the water issues is we're finding underground pipes crushed and sprinkler heads crushed from driving on the
From
fields.
driving on them, yeah.
And so it takes us a long time to chase down, leaks and try to get those audits done. My crews work hard, but it takes a long time.
It just seems like, it's like disasters. We're putting all this money and time and energy and every year instead of, I don't think it's right.
Well,
You
I
heard what the school's
suspect,
gonna do?
Ron, therere's more to
Do what?
come on this, but
But
we're gonna hear more later.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Salas, Councilor Corey, there will be, and just like, as you all read, the draft that Zach provided to you all is, the final day he has is Easter Sunday, and you have 30 days from that, so it's already gonna be May, and they start tournaments, in May?
In May, yes.
So there's no way to be able to replant sod or grass, and a couple of years ago, T-Bone, we purchased $30,000 of
Yes, sir,
sod.
just over $30,000.
Put it on there,
of
and
sod.
then it was destroyed that next winter, so.
It's ridiculous.
And Mayor Pro Tem Salas, he brought that to our attention, how bad, he went up there and saw it, he said, man, you're gonna break an ankle, and it's terrible. So we need to address that.
Any more questions on that one? All right, I will move on to goal number 3, and that is, I believe I'm on 3, yes. And that is to update the current youth and adult sports policies and procedures. And so with Alex coming in, and this is something that Chris started on, but I do want to get a better set of our youth sports policies and our adult sports policies and procedures. We have rules now, and some of it, because we do use programs like NFL Flag, NBA Junior, MLS Junior, rule books, a lot of that is their rule book. NFL Flag provides us with a rule book and says, hey, if you're going to use our name, you use our rules, which honestly is a great thing to me because they're a national organization. They've had trial and error on a lot of stuff. They know which rules are which, but there are a lot of rules that are also not set in those. A policy on if two athletes get in a physical altercation, what is the policy? Our current policy is a zero tolerance policy. If you get in a physical altercation, you're done for the season. If you do come back for a later season, you get in another physical altercation, you're done for, pretty much for the remainder of time. Because if you can't behave, then there's appeal processes in that, but, if you get in a fist fight on the field, you can't behave, you need to sit out for a little while. And so, but it's just, I do want to put in place more of those policies, and so we do have, if you do X, Y happens. And so it cuts out a lot of the middleman of, is it 1 week suspension, is it 3 week suspension, is it, type of thing. And so we want to put those in place, as well as, I'm going to task them with putting it at, different levels. So like we'll have like the rules for say 8U, 6U and 8U is going to probably be different than 10U and 14U. Because the older kids should know better. If a little kid, if a 6-year-old pushes some kid, I don't think they should be suspended for the full season. If a 14-year-old shoves a kid, there's a little heavier, action for that. And so I am gonna ask them to put some of those levels in place so we do have some, just a standard policy, and it helps us and Parks and Rec, and it also is something I would like to bring to y'all once we do get this done to be formally adopted, just so, if I do have to kick little Sarah out of a league and her mom calls you and says, why is my kid can't play? You understand that exactly why.
No, you're shifting the blame.
Well,
Yeah, no, we're the bad people.
no, we're still the bad guy by all means, but it just gives us some backing too, because we get those calls. So I'll just call the mayor, I'll just call the council, and or we do get a lot that, well, who authorized you to make this policy? Well, it does come from the policy board. Yeah.
Matt,
Yes, ma'am.
so baseball is not under,
No.
okay, so would you just make sure that we work with, I guess baseball is having a little conflict with soccer?
So.
Or, and do what? So could we, have you had any complaints?
Not,
I have.
Not other than a particular board member. There's
Okay.
one particular board member that we've heard complaints from parents, and alike, we have not heard complaints.
Okay. They were just told that, that's because baseball is not a sport for the Parks and Rec that soccer gets. And that's not, that's.
No, they
shouldn't be.
play on different areas. The one portion that is, I believe last year, baseball did want to come in middle of our soccer season and want us to change White Mountain Sports Complex to a baseball complex, which we can do for tournaments.
Yeah.
But it was in the middle of our regular youth soccer season.
Well, there's
So-
always two sides to
So if
a
we would have
story,
given it
so.
to the youth baseball, then the youth soccer would have no place to
Yeah.
play. So it's kind of one of those that, I do understand their complaint, but also, quite frankly, the Village of Ruidoso Sports have first access to our facilities during their seasons.
But when there's two, because
But-
those are taxpayers too.
Well, and if it's outside of our normal seasons, we do work with them and make as many fields as we can. But then we also get the complaint of, well, they're not real baseball fields. but we're going to give them the best we can.
I guess all I'm saying is, can we work with them?
We for sure do.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Okay. Do we have any questions on the policy?
Oh, you gonna be addressing adults, parents?
Yes, so
Policy.
that will all be part of that policy is how adults behavior. I'll be honest, in youth sports, 90% of the issue is the adults' behavior. It's not the kids'
That's
behavior.
always how it's been.
The kids usually can behave, and you know what? If they do get in trouble, they get their discipline and they're fine with it. It's the adults that we normally have more of the issue with.
Oh, yeah.
And we're looking at trying to find ways of, there's some video camera systems also to put in at certain areas. So we have that, because as you said, there's three sides to every story, his side, her side, and the truth. And I like to have the camera to be able to go, you're saying that you didn't go talk to him, but you're yelling at him right here. So I don't, can you explain this to me? And so we are looking at some of those, but yes, there will be policies for parents that they will have to sign off on when their kid starts a youth program. They will have to sign that they have reviewed the policy. So we already do that with our zero tolerance policy, because that is in effect for parents and children and their youth. And so we already have the parents sign that policy, that they've received it when they sign their kids up. And we have had to enforce it a time or two already. And they've tried to say, well, I didn't know, and I've had to pull that piece of paper out and say, well, your signature's right here. They go, oh, well, I didn't read it. Oh, that's,
But
I'm sorry, but you did, I do have a signature from you saying you acknowledge it, so. But yes, we will, that for
We'll
sure.
make sure Zach signs it with Carlos and Nico.
Yeah, he's a big problem.
He's
over
pretty
there.
rough, so.
The last thing we have are our goal number 5, which the goals are misnumbered. I apologize for that. Goal number 5 is going to be renovating the outdated existing park bathrooms. So as you know, most of our park bathrooms are new, or a lot of them are. However, like in Schoolhouse Park, the bathroom right by the playground
Center.
is the one by the senior center. That's an older bathroom.
Yeah,
So we
that's-
actually have plans in place for full renovation on that.
I'm always like,
Yeah, so.
Are you gonna tear down the one on the hill? The
Yes,
cinder
so,
block one?
so we're still trying to decide if we want to tear it down or turn it into storage for the pool. Because we
Right.
need some storage for pool chemicals and stuff, and so we might just gut it out and turn it into storage.
That's fine, at least you know.
Yeah, but it is
clean
locked up,
It's-
yeah.
It's pretty unsightly
Well,
right now.
and I mentioned to you, in the interim, if you can put men
Mm-hmm.
and women signs on the actual door.
Yeah, we have some on order, so we'll get those. And that is
I
actually,
was in the women's room the other day.
yeah, and I anticipate hearing, we're planning within the next month or so. Yeah, we're planning within the next month or so to start the renovation on that bathroom. And we're gonna gut the full inside of it. We're actually gonna widen the pipe chase a little bit in the middle. There's some stuff we need to add in that pipe chase and put a washout sink for our staff to be able to clean it better, clean mops and stuff better in that bathroom. And so we'll completely gut it, kind of reorganize it a little bit and rebuild the inside. Our facilities department will be taking care of that. While we do those bathroom renovations, there will still be restrooms in those parks though. We will permanently park one of our restroom trailers outside of the restroom, so we still do have facilities in that park for that time. But so we do have that one. If you've gone into the one in Wingfield Park recently, we redid it at the middle of last year, and so it's going to be, it's kind of that. It's a lot of just new fixtures, spruce it up, new things on the walls, new heaters in them, new floor, epoxy floor, things like that. That just spruce it up, make it feel more welcoming.
yeah. The bathrooms look great.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, sir.
Is there any plan for right behind the new vault toilet there at the Little League field where the ground's still, we had the bike? Is there any plans for that?
Yes, so this grant, that $2.5 million grant that I just got to redo the sports complex, the next grant cycle on that, I'm going to write to redo the skate park there. And so I do want that whole area to be
Bigger one?
yes, I want to move the skate park to that full area, and we can actually work on up to hill with some ramps and things. Me and Eddie have actually worked with that, and then turn the current skate park into parking lot. And so to add more parking for that area.
Well, that'd be very nice.
And so, so that's kind of our goal, is that the next time this quality of life grant cycle comes around, my goal is to write it for skate park in that area.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Matthew, just to let you know, self-insurance fund,
Doesn't like skate parks?
oh, they cringe a little bit when we talk about the skate park.
I'm sure they do. I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions?
No,
job.
Great job.
Perfect. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great day.
You.
Oh, I actually still up here because I'm on the next one too. Let's get the slide over.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem Council. Okay, so with the community center, I will start with our mission statement. The Village of Ruidoso Community Center continues to integrate community services and programs while striving to meet our citizens' physical, psychological, social, and spiritual needs, and helping to improve the quality of life for our local residents and long-term time visitors. Our organizational chart, of course, it's me as the manager, and then we have, beneath me, we have our technician, which is Maricela Peralta. She just barely started about 3 months ago. She's been on board and doing really well, helping us out with everything. She worked with us before, so she was able to just step on in and just move forward quick, so she's been great. And then also we have our custodian, Tammy Waterfield. She's awesome. That girl does not stop. She's cleaning something every second of the day and, you know, sweeping up after everybody. So she's been a great help. Also answering phones, doing stuff for us, helping clean, cook, all of it. She's wonderful. So she's been a great asset to the program. So that's our organizational chart there. So we could step forward into our goal number 1. Ruidoso is well prepared for emergencies. Village of Ruidoso Emergency Management Training is my goal number 1. Just to keep training with emergency management, you know, we got Eric Queller, emergency management stuff that he has going on, and we try to continue training with him, anything we need to, because we are like a shelter for them, temporary, I guess you would call it, and warming type shelter. So we just try to continue training with him, and anything we need to do, helping Red Cross and stuff like that. So we want to continue on with that because, you know, as you could see, as we just had, we were able to use ENMU, but sometimes we have to use the center, as we almost had to do this time. So that steps into the other thing. They're looking into a generator for the center. We don't have a generator
Yeah,
for it, so that's why we had to use ENMU this time.
Go in the generator business.
ENMU was running off generator most of the time while we were out there for the shelter, so it'd be great to actually get that in place. And I know that's on the plans with Eric and stuff, so we look forward to that. They talked about mobile showers at one point. I don't know where that's at in the program, but that'd be useful as well, because, you know, it's a small center, we don't have showers. We got rooms for feeding, dormitory and stuff like that, but showers is just something everybody lacks
In
really.
your new building, or, you know, your
Addition.
addition, you don't have showers?
Mayor Crawford, Councilor Letterman, it does not include showers in it. The design for it was just for another meeting space,
Sure.
more restrooms and more kitchen area. That's what the design was actually made for.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I have for goal number 1, just to keep prepared for any type of shelter that we need, any type of emergency management type stuff. So I'll stand for any questions on that. Okay, so goal number 2, building improvements. You know, we try to get I just did a grant for additional parking to the center. The parking that we have there now is so congested because of the playground, which has been a great thing to our area. All the parents and kids that are there is wonderful. It's just now that the pool, the playground, and us, the parking is so congested. So I did file a grant with the New Mexico Aging and Long-Term Services Department to get the parking lot extended, which would take off more for our side as well, like for the playground that exists in front of our building, to extend it out that way, and then think the design was gonna bring it up, possibly up the mountain a little bit, and then fix the parking over here on the pool side. So it was gonna even possibly the opening where the road comes in off Sutterth into the pool, it's so small.
It
To
is.
possibly fix that as well, because it needs to. You could barely get one car in and out of there.
So Anthony, would you take out that existing park?
Yes, Parks and Rec, have planned on taking that out eventually.
Yeah.
I
My
think
my grandson called Matthew the new park, the green park. The yellow park, he called the boring park.
That's my goal.
Yeah, so that's the plan, to take that one out now that, I mean, really honestly, nobody ever really used that playground in the front, barely, but now that the one is in the rear, oh man, it's busy. So, yeah, the plan was to fix all of that, move the parking lot out that way, which would give the community center more parking, but still allow the playground and the pool to have theirs as well, while fixing it all. So, just waiting, that grant was submitted this past year in 2025, so I'll hear more about that this year to see if it passes or not. I did notify that Agent Long-Term Services that with the addition, which I'll talk about next, we did get the grant for the addition, the $2.1 million, to get the addition done, so we'll be trying to work on that this year to get that going. There's been stuff with the design going on that we need to figure out to get the designs to a contractor to actually do the addition. So with that, I did, when I explained for the parking, I explained that the addition is coming as well. So that means more activities, more parking needed. So hopefully they take that into consideration whenever they look at the application for the parking lot. So the addition, like I said, that's one of on the building improvements, is to get that addition going, which, like we talked about, more meeting space, more bathrooms, another office space, and extend the kitchen, so the kitchen will have a prep area and a cooking area.
Right.
So that would be my goal number 2 there. I'll stand for any questions on that one. Okay, so, goal number 3, new and continued programming. The center, programming is big in that place. We got a lot of fitness classes, food, games, different items like that, exercise equipment, stuff like that, and lunches, breakfast. The programming there is much needed by the community. It's utilized a lot. People are in and out of that center. I mean, just last year, we signed up 200 more people to that center.
You're the hub of the community.
And it's great. Yes, Mayor, Councilor Letterman, we are right in the middle. This is middle of the whole town, so everybody knows what that is now, and it's catching on really well. It has in the last few years, so people are utilizing it like it should be. And I always stress to the people that it's a way for the village to give back to the community.
Yeah.
For free classes and free exercise equipment and all of
Well,
that.
it's kind of getting away from that senior center. People are embracing it now as a place to go to have fun and to meet new people and meet with friends and.
Yes, Mayor Crawford, Councilor Letterman, it's called the community center, but it's still about 90% seniors in there. There are younger people that utilize it because of the equipment.
People like me.
Like younger people like you? Yes.
But are you a senior?
Well, it says so when I go to K-Bob's.
Into the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not for Social Security, yeah.
There are those stipulations.
And Mayor Crawford and Councilwoman Letterman, I think that was part of the thought of changing that name too, is, in my experience in the industry, senior on the outside of the building, senior center. When I was in Lubbock, I had, individuals that were well in their 80s and even lower 90s that were fighting me that they weren't a senior yet.
Oh, yeah.
To go to the senior center. And so, we changed ours in Lubbock to Older American Centers.
Sounds worse.
They liked it better. And
Walkers are us.
Yeah. But I think naming it a community center is definitely the, while it is primarily seniors, it does make them feel better to go to a facility like that because it doesn't have the stigma of senior attached to it.
Exactly, and it's worked out well like that, so yeah, we're just booming in there. The goals for the center and the staff is to continue to try to fill the little gaps that we do have in the times, because people will come to us with classes and I'm like, well, here's the schedule if you could fit it in. And we randomly do fit little gaps in, but, of course, there you go with the addition, we'll be able to fill in a lot more, but there are some gaps that we're trying to fill in, so we'll continue the outreach to to try to get more programming into the center that benefits everybody, whether it's older adults or younger adults, whatever.
Sure.
We do have a children's play group there every week, and then Region 9 uses it twice a month. So there are a lot of children that utilize the center as well. We have a play area in there, so, man, they love it. They come in from the playground to use the play area sometimes, so we got to kind of monitor that as well, so that's well utilized. So we'll continue that outreach to get new and continued programming for the center.
Great job.
I'll stand for any questions on goal number 3. Okay, so we got goal number 4, which is gonna be nutrition programs. You know, as you know, we do a lot of lunches and breakfasts there. Our plan is to continue offering more items for our lunches and breakfast. Of course, we offer a full breakfast that we're able to offer them for $2, so that's been working out well. During the wintertime, it gets kind of slow, but, you know, we keep it going because there's a lot of people that need the nutrition because, you know, there's a lot of people that aren't, especially seniors that don't have a lot of money, so they come to the center just for these meals. We have $1 lunches, $2 breakfast. The lunches, we've been trying to provide more. At our lunches, we used to just provide some things, but we're providing more every lunchtime, so we're making more out of the kitchen. Of course, there it goes again with, if we were able to get the addition with more cooking area, we'd be able to provide more lunches, more breakfasts. Of course, we'd be able to have the walk-in freezer and cooler to be able to store more food, because right now, we can only store enough for once a week. So that's gonna be huge. If we get that addition, we'll be able to offer more. But meantime, we are planning on offering more snacks and more meals throughout the week. Now that I got my staff full now, I can actually, once we get Madi trained, then we can actually provide more during the week. So we're planning that. We're just trying to get her going and then free up some time so we can all take care of that.
Anthony, you know, and Red Oso is very lucky. We don't have a lot of homeless. But we know those few that walk the streets, and do they ever come in and?
Mayor Crawford, Councilor Lutterman, we do have a few homeless people come in. However, they're more of the type that are just hanging out in the wooded area up there.
Okay.
You know, they're just kind of, they're not in the center to go eat or anything. They're there just to cause problems at times. So we don't get a lot of the homeless that actually need the services.
Okay.
Because I don't think these people that are hanging out in those areas, I don't think they're really homeless. I think they're just hanging out in town
Okay.
and not going home. So I think that's what we get more of. So there's been problems with them, but we've been taking care of that as it comes. So, yeah, but we do invite, there's, as a matter of fact, there was a gentleman there from the shelter today that stayed at the center all day because the shelter demobilized this morning. He's been there all day and we fed him and everything, and we're really good to the people that really need it. We'll feed them. We don't charge if they actually don't have money and they really are in need. We won't charge them, we will feed them, so we're good to those people. Kind of filter through them.
I don't know what it is about that area. I volunteered at St. Eleanor, you know, they serve meals once a month, and we got a lot of, frankly, they were intoxicated.
No, I know who you are.
I don't know what it is about that area that attracts.
Because St. Eleanor is there.
We see it,
That's where I get my wine on
A bunch
Sunday.
of hosers.
we count,
It's the blood of Christ.
Oh, that's what it is.
Mayor, Councilman Corey, we see a lot right there in town and at the Y are our two really hot spots.
Yeah.
It's not on our property at the Y, they go on up the hill, but
It could
it
be.
used to be on our property, but the PD did a really great job of anytime anybody was on our property at the Y, they would run them out. And so they've learned that if they're up the hill, they're on private property, and so
Well, there for a while, Wheatfield even.
Yeah,
Wheatfield Park
Wheatfield was
had some
pretty.
different looking.
Yes, we've been trying to, like I said, because of the playground, I don't like Councilor Corey said, there are a lot of them that are intoxicated in the area, and because of that playground, we try to detour them from coming to the center if they're like that. So if I see that they are intoxicated, I'd ask them to leave the whole area. And a lot of them don't argue. I'm like, hey, you know what, you don't want trouble, so just mosey on down the road, and they usually do. So I just try to keep them away because there's children there, so I don't like that, but.
Thank you.
But lately, a lot of them have migrated away from there, honestly. I don't see as many as I used to in the schoolhouse park and the community center. For some reason, there's somewhere, might be the cold. They might have a housing somewhere or something. So we'll see what happens springtime.
And Mayor and council members, I do also think part of that is some of the efforts like updating the parks. You bring more people to the park, it's less friendly for them. Some of the other things is, I don't know if y'all have got any calls on it. There used to be the chuck wagon in that park.
Oh, yes.
That had food in it and stuff. So it got destroyed several times. This last time it got torn up, we actually just removed it from the park. It was bringing a lot of unwanted guests that were tearing it up, and they would string stuff just across the tables at the park and stuff like that. So we still do have a few around town. There's one in Wingfield Park. We haven't seen as many issues there. And so we monitor it. And then there's also, at Cornerstone Bakery
Yes.
has one, a couple churches have them, and those are put up by the churches. And they've called us and talked to us, and I kind of led them in the direction, if y'all want to have them, you should put them on your church property. And they didn't want them on church property because they didn't want
The problem.
the problems on the church property.
Not in my neighborhood.
So, we are kind of monitoring and trying to take some of those actions to cut down on those issues.
And also whenever they cleared the forest area behind the center, it took out all the brush, so, they don't have hiding spaces up there. So that alleviated a lot of it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that helped. So it'd be good to keep it like that.
Well, thanks for all that you do.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's goal number 4. I'll stand for any questions on that one. Okay, so goal number 5. Okay, so this one here, it changed from, we used the RSVP program. We decided that we would go ahead and relinquish the program because the funding that AmeriCorps was offering, they stopped the process, so it caused us a gap in funding. So we had to our RSVP coordinator moved positions into the convention center. So meantime, I have been having to handle that program because we didn't know if funding was gonna come back or not to be able to hire somebody. So we didn't know what to do. So we had spoken with the mayor and stuff to see what we should do, and we put a hold on that hiring because we didn't know somebody got hired, and then a few months later, the funding doesn't come back. So here we are again in that position. And we felt like it was not a secure position to hire somebody with the Village of Ruidoso, because I understand that is the only grant-funded position in the village. So it was not secure. I didn't think it was good to hire somebody to do that, not knowing that the funding would come back. But in turn, even though if that didn't come around, to have that program with AmeriCorps and the state, you have to have a full-time director. So.
It's 22.
Yep. So, if without the funding, you can't have a director. And, recently I filed for a part-time waiver that I had to file with the AmeriCorps to actually be the director part-time, and I had to prove that part of my position was handling that program. They allowed it now, but it was only gonna be allowed until the grant started again in April.
Do you think it's gonna start?
It's up in the air. They keep
No,
saying
was
that it
one of
might,
those
it might
that was
not.
Gonna slash it.
We don't, Trump has been trying to cut that program, so it's very scary. And last time he was in, he did the same thing. So every year, he's gonna try to cut it. Even if the funding comes back one year, he's gonna try to do it again. And then you end up with these gaps in time where the government shuts down, and we don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So that's where we were at with
What's
that.
the name of the program?
AmeriCorps is the main.
And that's the one that he keeps cutting?
It's actually in the documentation, it's Corporation for National and Community Service, but they renamed it AmeriCorps as the branding name. But that's the one he keeps trying to cut, AmeriCorps. There's a lot of different ones, like Eco Servants. He cut that, so I don't know if I hear Eco Servants is,
It's an NGO.
Uh-huh.
but It receives funding from the federal government.
And that's across the board that he's cut all those? Yeah.
so,
Yeah, they're like the, Freedom of America, that radio station, Voice of America.
yeah, so, I spoke with a lot of the volunteers, and especially the ones that are receiving mileage, and, I kind of just asked, would you continue serving? And all of these volunteers that are signed up with our program will continue to serve. We have all the volunteer stations like the food banks, Christian Services, Humane Society, and all of them, they volunteer because they're retired and that's what they want to do something. So the program, we were giving them 2 recognition events, 2 $25 gifts, and then, of course, the mileage, well, only a handful were receiving the mileage. And a lot of them were receiving like $25, $30. Some were higher because they live way out. And the higher ones that received higher mileage, they stated to me that they will still continue to serve even at the center. We have somebody that serves at the center and she's going to continue doing her classes regardless because that's what she does anyways.
Well, I think part of that too, Anthony, is the recognition you and the mayor always give the volunteers. I mean,
yeah.
You're always showing gratitude, and that means a lot to people, you know, and I know the T-shirts and jackets, I mean, those people are proud to.
I see them wearing them all the time. That's why we make sure we
Yeah.
try to, point those folks out and talk about them.
Mayor Crawford, Councilor Corey, yes, and our plans is what I'm trying to, we have a lot of volunteers that run the classes in the center. Honestly, without them volunteers in the center wouldn't be what it is.
Programs and.
They run it. I mean, thankfully, I have them there because all of our classes are run by these volunteers and they're signed up. My plan with goal number 5 is now that we're letting the program go with the RSVP program, my plan is to actually still recognize the volunteers that are at the center. Because we still have a lot of them that are there. I still want to buy them shirts. I still want to give them a meal, even if we got to prepare it there at the center to bring them and, a family member or something to actually recognize these volunteers that are at the center. So that way they still feel welcomed in there and, for all the work that they do. Because like I said, the center would not be the same. So my intentions are to do recognition events for them, maybe possibly give them a gift if I can find the funding to do it, which I think I can, depending on what's approved and whatnot, and giving them those shirts to wear proudly in the center and out of the center, saying that they are a volunteer there. What do we plan on doing as far as the other volunteer stations that are out there, the Christian Services, the food bank? We're still going to continue to monitor them and keep their names and the station managers and the numbers in there. So when people do contact us for volunteer items that they want to do in the public, we have these stations that we can say, okay, here's a list. Let us know what you are interested in. This is what they do. So we want to continue to be that hub for them, to represent them and to still get volunteers for them because we get a lot of that. They know this is a senior center. So they actually contact us, where can I volunteer at? So we always have these lists. Well, here's the list. We'll continue to provide that for them. So that way we still promote volunteerism in the community.
Yeah.
Because it is huge. I mean, there was like $800,000 worth of savings in the community from these volunteers. So we still want to continue to represent them, and we will. We'll still be giving out the numbers and whatnot, and still keeping in contact with these stations to provide that information to them.
Right.
So that's what our goal number 5 is, to continue that forward in a different type of way. So.
Great job.
Yes, sir.
I know we did this years back and stuff, but like for your meals that you give out, and then even in the programs, you could do it with the RSVP, but residencies of not only your volunteers, but your visitors or that come for meals and participate. Because I remember Sandy one time going to the county and showing those numbers, and they I think it was only $1,000, but I think El Rey was chairman there. But I don't know if we could, I'm just curious of how much are we accommodating to county? I knew for the adult programs, it was at least 40% of the participants were county and even Mescalero residents.
Mayor Crawford, Mayor Pro Tem Salas, with the county, they have their senior centers all over the place, especially like Ruidoso Downs. So I think the county is taking care of so they're considered taking care of their people.
Right.
Eventually, whenever we do get the addition in the extra kitchen area, I want to reach out to the area agency on aging where they get their funding from to possibly get on board with them to provide meals every day. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I'm not sure, I don't have, I think there's only a handful of people that are actually coming from the county areas to the center for meals. Most of them are locals.
But then what about participants for programs?
Programming is-
Like Duplicate Bridge, I mean, that's pretty much Alto right there.
But yeah, programming is a different story. I'm not sure, I think probably about maybe 30% come from outside of Ruidoso.
Right,
So, yeah, and I know we're serving a lot of those people.
right. I'm just curious when it comes up budget time and stuff that way we could hit them up too, that, I mean, even give us $1,000 again.
Yes, and on that note, a lot of our seniors that take classes, they donate to the center.
Right,
They all do. I mean, we have donation buckets, the volunteers that run the classes, they take the donations in and we receipt it out every month. So we get a lot of donations from these people that
and
attend the
that's
center.
good, keep that up.
Oh, yeah, and it's huge to our department because we're able to use that to provide more meals and all of that. So it's a way of, you are donating to the center, but we're able to buy this equipment, we're able to buy food for you all. So they are donating to the center for these classes. So
Right.
in turn, these people are pulling money out of their pockets $1 at a time. So, and it's all receipted per class, so you can see, I can give listings of the amounts of money that comes into that center
Right,
for me.
and that's good, keep it up.
Oh, yeah,
So that
it-
way,
it's-
everybody's willing to donate for a good program.
Exactly, they don't pay monthly fees to a gym for these classes, so they donate to the center because they know, hey, we love coming here, we will donate because we want this to continue for us, and they understand that. So even though they are county, they still help us out.
And Anthony, on the, there's an RFP process for the congregate meals, the homebound and the transportation like the county has for the Downs and their other areas. So that's all by RFP. So next time it comes out, it's a lengthy RFP, but that's something that's what you all want to do. At least try it anyway.
Mayor Crawford, Manager Sena, yes, that is, I was aware, I was involved with the Down Center. I worked there for 6 years before I came on board with the village. So I was well aware of that and what the process is. So once we actually get the kitchen, then we can look into all of that and see what we need to do if it's possible.
How do we compare to that one?
Mayor Crawford, councilors, for the Downs one, we're more of a activity center. We're getting the same amount of meals indoor as they do, except we don't have the Meals on Wheels program. I think they're serving out probably 80 meals a day for Meals on Wheels. I think that's the last numbers I've heard, but as far as the congregate meals inside, we're comparable to them. But I know a lot of people like coming to our center because of the activities,
Activities.
much
yeah.
less, yes. So if we had the meal program every day, man, we would kill it. I know we'd be busy, we'd be overloaded.
How big is that center?
It's about the same. I think they could serve, when I was down there, we would serve 200 a day, but that was then. A lot of things have changed. So, I think they could seat probably about 100 at a time. When we were serving that many people were in and out. So, I think they have seating for about 100 right now.
And we got seating for 60?
We have seating for about 70 right now.
70.
We can add to the tables, but that's what's set up for right now, because we don't exceed that ever.
Is it in good shape as ours?
Actually, they renovated it, and it's in great shape. They've done a lot of renovation there, so everything's, it's clean and it looks good in there.
Wonder how they did that? Is that county?
That's
Yes.
That's not Ruidoso Sedans.
Not
It's county.
Ruidoso
But
Down.
Mayor
county.
Crawford, that's from the county and they're all part of the aging and long-term services. And then
Right.
they have so all that funding that comes in.
Yeah,
so.
you got it. I was, for some reason, thinking it was Ruidoso Downs.
They leased the building from Ruidoso Downs for, when I was there, it was $1 a year. But from the aging and long-term services and AAA, they were able to renovate the building, 'cause that's what they're responsible for, taking care of the building themselves.
Okay, good.
So that's goal number 5. I'll stand for any questions.
Doing a good job, Anthony.
Yeah,
Thank
You
you,
all
Anthony.
appreciate it. With your all's help, thank you for your help, because that center's come a long way with your all's help. Thank you.
Done a great job. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Last
And I'm
but
sorry I
not
missed most of your presentation there, Matthew. Did we have any damage from trees on the fence on the playground there?
yes, I believe one or two panels have damage on the fence, and then the tennis court has damage on the
Oh, boo.
Which that middle tree between the tennis courts, the tennis people hate it because of the shade of it. And, but it was a great tree, so we left it, but part of it fell, so it looks like that tree will.
Well,
tennis
get
will be
out of
getting
there.
Their wish.
Did it damage the court?
Yes, sir, it did damage the court surface, I don't believe, around it.
Okay.
So we'll get the repairs done.
I saw that on Sunday, and I let Matt know, and he was at the EOC, and I said, and I hadn't looked, and I looked, and there was a fence, and even on the rail fence there at the senior center, was there any damage on that? Because there was a large limb on
I
that.
think there's one panel that's damaged, but the rest.
Okay.
Yeah, he called me, he's like, have you seen the tennis courts? I was like, no, what's wrong? Never mind, I'll let you see him.
Oh, man, I felt terrible.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good.
Last
And
but not least.
the last one here.
Thank you for your resilience.
So, Mayor and councilors, Manager Senna, my organizational chart consists of 7 of us there at the library. There's myself as the manager. Amanda Castillo is our supervisor, and she does all the evaluations for the library assistants. Ben, Danielle, Sophia, and Mercedes. And then Marissa, I also evaluate, and she's the youth services librarian.
And I appreciate them because Ben, he was at the warming center all the time with Amber and was doing a really good job. So appreciate you sending him over.
You're welcome. And Amanda also was there
Amanda
the night
was there,
before.
yes.
And so was Sophia. And then we had Marissa that was answering phone calls as well this weekend.
Over there or
At the EOC.
Where was Sophia?
She was at the shelter,
You know, she's probably grown up so much that I don't recognize her.
probably, and she's very quiet.
I know, she used to work for me a long time ago and I know her daddy.
Okay.
So, anyway, I was just curious. I didn't see her. I probably looked right at her.
So for our first goal, it's to enhance, sustain, and build library programming for a diverse population. The library will enhance current programming through outreach and create new programming to help ensure the diverse population of Ruidoso has their varied educational and quality of life needs met. Steps to achieve this goal is the library manager and youth services librarian will add at least 4 STEAM programs a year for youth in the community. And I just want to say that recently, the Southeastern Director for STEM in New Mexico has been in touch with us, and they have money that they are going to be purchasing some STEM kits for us, and we're also going to be getting some virtual reality
What
goggles.
does that stand for, Denise?
It is STEAM.
Yes, ma'am.
It stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math. And so we're going to be getting some good stuff from him to do, some various programs for the STEAM that also include actually some kits that have to do with things that happen in the area, like watershed and flooding and things like that.
That's good.
Just helping the youth to understand better what's happening in their community.
Yeah.
So the progress this year is that we did various art programs conducted during summer reading, and a lot of those art programs were the STEM type programs, which was like the pendulum painting that we did with Mr. and Mrs. Rayburn from the middle school.
Who are they?
Mr. and Mrs. Rayburn, they're teachers at the middle school.
Okay, awesome.
She's the art teacher.
Yes.
Is that
One of the art
Susie?
teachers with,
Susie, her
Higginbotham?
Yeah, Marin.
She's at the middle school.
Oh, middle
She's the
school.
only one. Yeah.
Is it Marin or Susie?
Marion is her sister.
Yeah, Marin does the Quiz Bowl kids.
Yep.
Okay. But Susie's also an artist and a,
Her mom.
yeah.
Yes.
Who's the other one?
It's
on the tip of my tongue.
She just came in the store the other
It's
day.
okay. That's okay.
Yep, yeah, I know, right? It's like, just don't worry about that.
Married to Trevor.
That's her, Trevor. Trevor is Mr. and she is,
I always know her as Mrs. Rayburn. I don't know her first name.
Jeez, I can't. remember.
Renee?
No,
I can get back to you on
no,
it.
no,
I'll
no,
have-
it doesn't
She's
matter.
my name. They live down the street from us. I can't remember her name.
It doesn't matter.
We also did art.
Megan.
Megan, there you go.
I got to type in and said, okay, good. Sorry.
Art from an artist's point of view in collaboration with artist Deborah Wenzel. Ben did a 3D printing demonstration for kids and their parents. And we also had a Halloween escape room. That's something that's been a staple. That's like the third year that we did it. so.
Yeah,
And it has very much STEAM type items in that escape
Are
room.
those the clues?
The clues, the puzzling, you have to do math and things like that to figure out how to get out of the room. The second step needed to achieve this goal, the library manager and supervisor will ensure that at least 6 programs a year are conducted for adults. This year, we did a slow travel New Mexico with guest author Judith Fine. We've been doing the Time Turner Book Club once a month in collaboration with the Wingfield Heritage House Museum. We did the Adult Summer Reading Program. We did a quilting demonstration in collaboration with Ruidoso. And there was a
cute.
pottery demonstration with ceramic artist Alan Miner.
He's great.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also did the summer music series, what we finally ended up having as a summer music series. We had to,
How well attended were those?
this year they were not as well attended as they have in the past. I believe part of that was that we were starting to use some branding templates to do that with, and so they would pass by them. The other is that we had to reschedule quite a few of them. And so they just kind of gave up on it with all the flooding, with it going all the way through August and everything, and they just kind of gave up. Because we only had about half the amount of attendance that we normally do. I think the biggest one got us 60 attendees, and in previous years, we were getting as many as 130 attendees.
Just right out here?
Just right out here.
The only thing you're missing is G, soap making by Darren Hooker. He didn't want to give away all his secrets, I know him.
Well, you know what? He can demonstrate without giving away all of his secrets.
I
So
like that.
we'll
He's
have-
putting a lot of phosphates in it, Gary. I think he's our man. We got him, we got our eyeballs on him.
So we can have a discussion about a program later.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The third step is the library manager, supervisor, and youth services librarian will conduct at least 4 family-friendly programs for the Ruidoso community a year. This last year, we did the Dia celebration, the Back to School Bash, and Aspen Fest. I include Back to School Bash because there was a lot of fun stuff for parents to do as well at the Back to School Bash that Peace Coalition put on.
What's the DI?
The Dia is the.
Dia Day.
The Dia, yeah. It's the Dia, the celebration of the child in the book. Day of the
Oh,
Book, Day of
it's
the
not
Child.
like Day of the Dead or something like that?
No, it's not that.
That's the Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. I was trying to throw my knowledge of Spanish in there. You're supposed to help me over
They
there.
went right in with the Halloween.
You're the only one that speaks Spanish in the whole place.
The library manager on the 4-step, the library manager and staff will ensure that at least 4 passive programs a year are created for adults and youth. This is a program that is not pre-planned for you to be there on a certain day and time. It's items like puzzles or interactive, say, going and doing a, I can't think of the word. It's where you go on a hunt and find things.
Scavenger.
Scavenger.
I couldn't come up with the word, scavenger hunts. And recently with our displays, we've been doing a lot of the passive programming and have you doing different codes or doing different things in the library.
Who teaches the yoga?
The yoga, it was a display that we did that had a passive program to go with it.
You just look at it?
The program was that you had a challenge to take the sheet that showed all the different yoga exercises and complete them and keep track of that and bring it back, and then you get a prize.
Okay, good.
Pick one up.
Well, I was thinking about a little Tai Chi, but last time I went to yoga, I like to died. Pretty hard.
Downward dog was a good
Denise,
one.
I'm not so concerned about the getting down, it's the getting up from the getting down.
Yeah, I understand that
There was a
one,
little tooting going on, I want to let
Very
you know.
because I'm one of the ones within the next 2 years, I'll be retiring as well,
Oh,
so.
Oh, that's good, more good news. And so your plan,
Amanda right now
Okay.
is the succession, and we got her the Class 1 certification through the state of New Mexico. So she is certified to be a director of the library here.
No, wait a minute, what,
she's going to be retiring in 2 years.
in 2 years?
So I was asking her about her succession
I-
plan, because we had to go through a lot of turds to get you. You remember?
oh, do
They all went to the same school, the librarian, whatever. And so you've been awesome, and
Well,
so
thank
we
you.
want somebody that,
Amanda's great.
yeah,
She's
that
awesome.
understands how we work here, you know.
Exactly.
I really appreciate
One
that.
of your former directors tried to fire a volunteer.
Yeah, no, that, you,
Oh, well, they were tough.
Well, one of the things that we've changed about the volunteers is that we have a couple that work down in youth services and help them on special programs. And then all the other ones work in the bookshop for the Friends of the Library.
Oh, okay.
Because it's really hard to train somebody to do the work that the library assistants and Amanda and myself and Marissa do when they're only there just a couple hours a week, so.
Right.
So that's where we have them, and they're happy to do that. And anytime we have special events, we have more that come and say, we'll volunteer for the special events. So after the passive programming, the last part of it was library manager and supervisor will ensure that staff are trained in various types of library programming, which is something that I just went over with Amanda. She got the certification. We started getting Marissa the certification. She's taking the classes
good.
this year, and then she'll take one in the fall of next year, and then she'll be certified as well to be a
Nice.
director. So, and I've spoken with all my staff. They're very interested in moving up and learning more in library services. And so we've got a great staff. They're all very happy to be here and really excited about doing more in the library. And we've got online classes that we have them take. I'm looking at the library certification, staff support certification through the American Library Association. It gives you a certificate after you've completed 6 different classes in different areas of library work. And I would like to look at whenever library assistants complete that, to move them to becoming library technicians.
Excellent.
So there's that. Let's see here. The next goal is the library will enhance, sustain, and build upon community engagement to better serve our community through on-site and off-site programming and through consistent marketing. The library will participate in at least 3 community engagements for the library, and the library will conduct at least 2 off-site programs per year. This last year, we conducted our Day of the Book, Day of the Child at the Convention Center. So we had it out there, and we partnered with Region 9 for the Back to School Bash. We did the Aspen Fest, We worked with Fort Stanton on their bunny hop and the trick or treat trail. We collaborated with Parks and Recreation to participate in their Easter egg hunt. We collaborated with the area churches for Light Up the Night trick or treat at the Convention Center parking lot. And we also participated in the Rio Doso Valley Greeters Christmas Jubilee.
Who are you working with at Fort Stanton?
Javier.
Is that actually at the Fort Stanton facility?
It's actually at the Fort Stanton facility.
Because they had a big row over there, just recently.
No, I did
Ralph?
not know that.
Yeah, they found some inconsistencies in the financing, as well as told, so a bunch of people were dismissed.
Oh, no.
So I don't know, when's the last time you talked to them?
That would have been back in October.
I'll check again.
We'll do that. I also have the name of his boss.
Eddie?
I believe that's his name. Not there. Well, I'll look to see what other names I got and see who we can be in coordination with to continue to help them out.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me know. The library will market programs and services using varied marketing strategies according to our marketing plan. The agency, along with myself, came up with a marketing plan for the library, since we are a little bit different than just the village itself. And so we have a separate marketing plan for us. And I've been meeting with them every couple of weeks to deal with different strategies, to do different things. One of the first things that we're doing a campaign on is starting February 9th, we're going to do the rollout campaign for the van. And we hope to start the services using the van about mid-March.
That's great.
So we're working on that. And we're also working on a promotional campaign for a bear, a blue bear that is now our mascot, and doing a naming of the bear.
Oh, cool. Is it like a Snuggles type or a?
Well, we have a costume.
Oh, you're going to have a costume?
We're going to have a costume.
Oh, well, I wonder what size it is. we already got the boot pair right here.
And so, which is going to be lots of fun and rolling that out. And we also have a stuffed blue bear that will be a part of doing some of the promotional things for the library.
Excellent. That's good.
We're very, very excited about that. And they're working on branding templates for us to use for our different programs. And they're giving us, instead of just one template, they're going to give us quite a few different templates that we can utilize to promote our programs. Any questions on that there?
Sounds great.
The next goal is enhance, sustain, and build upon library technology, software, and infrastructure. A technology plan to have a resource that provides guidelines on replacement of staff and public computers, as well as input from the IT department concerning replacement of hardware and software. I'm already working on this technology plan. I just have to input all the different computers and items that we have technology-wise into the plan so that we can make a plan to budget for replacement of these items. So we've got that. The library manager, supervisor, and youth services librarian will do a library review of databases and other software associated with services. Every year, we go through and take a look about whether or not we want to renew the databases that we have, or if we want to get new databases and add to it as well. We did get rid of our Ancestry because it was only for inside the library and was not being utilized. So we swapped it for the Heritage Quest database that can be accessed from home. And we are also now a family affiliate of the, family genealogy, family search genealogy. We're affiliate, so you can access records of theirs from our public computers
Oh, that's
at the
awesome.
library. So we got those in place.
23andMe, you go through genealogy, right? That's
Mhm.
good.
And then we also have more that we've been given from the state library that we have access to. One of those is the STEP, I think, Step It Up, Get It Started, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but most of those programs are like 30 minutes long that are for seniors to learn something specific, say, on the iPad,
Oh, man, that's great.
or something specific on how to cook something specific.
How about
on
streaming
to-
services and setting passwords? I ain't serious, I'm not serious.
They change the programs all the time.
So, and that can be done remotely?
It can be done from home as long as you have an internet
Connection. We got
connection.
that one.
And a lot of them are scheduled for a certain day and time, but then they will go into the archived items that you can access at any time.
Denise, is that through the website?
It's through our website.
Okay.
And if you go to our catalog page on our website, you'll see all the databases. If you just sign in with your library card and PIN at the top, then you can access all those databases
Check that out.
from home, everything that's there.
So I need to get her in to get a library card.
Yep,
Yeah, I think that's one answer to prayer. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
She'll enjoy that.
I think we got that fixed there. Our next goal is to enhance, sustain, and build upon library facilities and spaces. This is where I've been doing a lot of work lately. I've been using some extra monies that I had in building and grounds and Go Bond money to do a lot of changes at the library, doing some upgrades. We did the doors to where we have automatic doors on the left-hand side as you're facing the building. We also got new material security gate. We now have new water fountains upstairs and downstairs. They have the bottle fillers to go with them. I've replaced chairs in the conference room. And the conference room also has the same kind of setup as this here. For Zoom meetings or for presentations, we're also doing the same thing downstairs in the children's classroom. And we're going to replace all the chairs in the archive room and at the public computers and in the general seating area. We're going to replace all those chairs this year. And we also bought new teen furniture for the teens.
And that's coming from the Go Bond money?
That's all coming from Go Bond money.
Excellent.
Because we got 47,000 of Go Bond from the 2022 Go Bonds, which is double from what we used to get for Go Bonds. So those are all the things that we've been working on and getting those taken care of. Next, the Go Bonds that we're going to be getting for 2024, those Go Bonds are going to be used to replace technology because it's been
Computers or?
computers for staff first because ours are like 8 years old.
Oh, I know what, we were going to ask you about that camera setup, the media center.
Yes,
Whatever happened to that camera and stuff?
all of it is still in the archive room.
Nobody's ever used it, right?
No.
Is it still usable?
As far as I know, it's all
I wonder
usable.
why we
The
can't use that
technology is
for,
just older.
Podcasting and set it up at the radio station, could we?
Sure. You can transfer it over there and it can be used for podcasting. We have microphones and we have the software and Greg would have to take a look at it.
I'll talk to Greg and see if it's something to do.
And that way somebody would be utilizing it. We've been trying to find different ways and it just doesn't seem to work out.
I mean, it's just been sitting there, nobody's, I mean, we were so worried about it in the beginning that we really made it difficult to use, to get it outside.
That it would be misused.
Yeah, because it was like 80, how much was that? It was like, that's expensive.
It was GO bond funds, and they used the whole amount on all the equipment that they
And Mayor
got.
Crawford remembers, I think it's, Corey was there, it's been over, I bet say 10 years old.
That was
probably-
like, yeah, it's 10 years
It's
old.
probably an old crank by now. I mean,
That doesn't mean that it wouldn't be
Workable for
worth
that.
you getting new software to put on there,
We hope anyway, but we'll take a
you
look at
know,
it. It's a
so
nice-
quite
we could-
possible.
Oh, yeah,
From a place in New York and.
oh, yeah.
It was a big deal, and
Yeah, and
we
any
talk
of the
about shooting
equipment that came
movies
with it,
and-
it was very expensive, and nobody was going to have the money to put up to be able to check it out, and so it wasn't worth doing that. Unfortunately, it wasn't well thought through before it was purchased.
That happens.
I'm trying to do better.
you have been.
Yes. The next item is, the manager and supervisor will ensure that security equipment is updated and replaced as needed. That's something, as far as I know, it's running just fine, but it should probably be taken a look at because it's probably about 8 years old or so.
Denise, on the HVAC system, all that was completely repaired, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean it was, what happened?
Remember we had that,
Oh,
they
yeah.
had an issue with it, and
There was a fan blade,
yes, and so
compressor fan blade that had to be dealt with, but it all got
because
fixed.
I called the sales guy, and I told him, no, that's too much, and I negotiated with him. He finally brought it down, and I said, that's a brand-new unit. I think the
Brand new.
the compressor had gone out. And I said, no, that's not gonna, so they fixed it, but I want to make sure. So-
They did, and then yesterday, the heating wasn't working in the morning, but I got a hold of Levi, and they had Andrew working with the guys at PC Automated, and they got it back up by 9:30, so. I don't know what happened, so. Also, on the facilities and what we're trying to do at the facilities is that the only thing I don't have money available for that I'm not able to get done is the carpeting upstairs. It hasn't been replaced. So come budget time, I may be asking for money to replace the carpeting upstairs at the library. It's very old, and we've got runners all over the place. It's not real safe in spaces.
How big area is it?
It's about 7,000,
Square feet?
yes,
That whole upstairs?
yes. But we have areas that are tiled, that's not going to be replaced.
Right, of course. Which is basically the walkway from the
Right.
entrance to the stairs.
Right, exactly.
Everything else is carpet.
Right, and then the kitchen and the little
Oh,
break
that's
room in
right,
the
the
back.
break room in the back.
And the bathroom in the back, that's not going to be replaced.
Right.
But, yeah, so it's about
Carpet in the office area or the workstation.
we're going to have the carpet. My thing is that it's always hard to find carpet that matches.
Right.
If you don't do it all at the same
Yes.
time. I mean, there's always the choice to do it piecemeal, but it's not going to match. It's going to be mismatched if you do it that way,
Right.
so.
And I understand getting it all done at once.
Yeah, because we want it to match and look good. So, and the price for that, I did get a quote on installation for carpet squares, and the installation alone is $16,000.
Yeah.
Carpet squares.
The carpet squares, I bought some carpet about 3 years ago. At that time, they were $30 a square. But there's more space to cover.
Right.
And prices have increased. And so what I was looking at, I increased the price by $15 per square, just to get a ballpark figure. And so the ballpark figure, along with the installation, would be about $65,000.
Okay.
So,
Get the quotes local, or where did you get them?
I got them from, the installation from Barnett. I tried to get them other places, nobody responds. I sent them the information with the blueprints for the square footage, and I haven't received anything back. And I have followed up with them, I still haven't received
She's
anything.
hard to get a hold of at Golden and Yarn, but Barnett does a really good job. That's who I bought all my carpet.
And that's where we got the carpet for downstairs, they did it, so. Moving on, let's see here. I think we're on to our last one. Enhance, sustain, and build upon library technology, software, and infrastructure. The library will create new, diverse, and consistent, reliable funding for the library. This is something that we wanted to start doing 2 fundraising events a year so that we could have more money for programming, so we could bring, say, maybe some authors that were better known to come and do talks or book signings here. By doing fundraising, that would allow us to spend more money on some of the adult programming that we would like to do. Right now, most everything we do is for youth programming, so. And the idea of that is that we do the summer reading fundraiser every year already with Sponsor a Child. I think we've just changed it to Sponsor a Person for summer reading program. And then we would like to get together and do something like the spelling bee that was done by the literacy group to bring in some more money so that we can do
Ron's ready
bigger
to be
ticket
a
items.
participant again.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I think everybody that participated enjoyed it, so. We were thinking of doing that or maybe some kind of a trivia.
It was kind of funny, the first year that they had that adult spelling bee, I was the timekeeper, and I didn't even move, but all of a sudden I had about 6 drinks in front of me.
Now, that was at Downshift, or, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
We did that. We also did one over at Cree.
Yep, that was the second one.
Yeah, we did. It was fun.
I was the timekeeper there, too.
Timekeeping is the best job there.
And that is all I have for,
Well, thank you.
Very good.
job.
Very good.
I'll tell you what, you got a lot going on.
we do have a lot going on.
She has a good board,
A lot
too,
you've done.
a good library
really
board.
good
Uh-huh.
library.
Yes, we have a really good board, and we just did elections, and Leroy Smith is now going to be the chair.
Yeah.
He's the guy on my spelling bee team. He's running neck and neck with Everett on who's on the most boards. I don't know what that's about. Leroy's on everything.
I know Leroy just really likes to be active in the community.
Yeah,
Does, yeah,
So,
yeah, he and Liz, they're great people.
yeah, they are.
any more questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Couple of comments, Ron. This is always such a refreshing exercise, hearing all the exciting things going on. I think one thing going forward that would help is to make sure on expenditures that the dollar amounts are spelled out. But you-
On the estimates for different things?
Yeah, but you've clearly got a great team of department leaders.
And Mayor Crawford and members of the council, a lot of new directors and managers also, so it's great, everybody's positive and move forward and get to the budget cycle. We have a lot going on, it's gonna happen fast, so.
Yeah, but the enthusiasm is encouraging.
Any other questions? Anything else? That concludes the agenda for the strategic planning. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone, appreciate it.
You.
Are we gonna keep these, or we're just gonna?
You always give yours to Gina.
I do. Here you go.